I like to just, when I get moments like this, Austin's really good at doing one thing, and he gives me a lot of firsts. And every time I get to have a first because of Austin, I like to take a second and soak it in. And I like to tell him about it because opportunities like this aren't normal opportunities that Austin has given me ever since I've been by his side. But it's really neat to come into a room full of people who love what we love and support the people that we love and just kind of exist all together at the same time. And it's one of those memories that each one of us, we get an opportunity to take something away from. And one of the things that I've kind of been doing lately is just looking back at my day in the morning and then in the evening. And this is one of those things where I get to sit back right now and I just kind of get to soak in every single special person that's in this room. Because whether we're recognizing you or not recognizing you, you're part of something very special. And it's really, I get excited about this stuff because when I get in here, my heart's up here in my throat. And that's how I know like it's really special, because it's not necessarily the nerves, it's the excitement that I get from this moment. So to be here and get to honor people that have given so much to professional wrestling, from the people behind the scenes like the Inman family, to the people who do stuff online to make pro wrestling bigger than what it truly is. Because it has to be larger than life, but it can't be larger than life unless it spreads via what we have kind of grown up with, and that's technology. And one of the things that has come along the way that I've been blessed with, so many of us have been blessed with, you know, a lot of us probably use it on our everyday basis, is social media and podcasts and interviews. You know, when I grew up, I would think someday if I was going to be a professional wrestler that I'd want to be on TV, right? I want to be interviewed. That's the big time. But once you get into the world of professional wrestling, the thing that it's only as big as you want it to be. And when you speak from your heart, people that listen to you, they know, they can feel that extra sense of special that comes from your voice, because you're making the people believe what's in your heart. And one of the people that allows myself and hundreds, probably thousands at this point, Zach Takis, he and Zach Brick, God rest his soul, started something so cool in the idea of Shotgun Wrestling Radio. And from just, I found Austin and Central Empire Wrestling on Facebook. It was social media and me just typing, hey, JT Energy would love to be a part of the next Central Empire Wrestling show. Him seeing that and going, you know what, JT Energy, we'd love to have you. Maybe he heard one thing about me, saw one picture of me, but without people like Zach, who put time and effort into taking the picture that we're cultivating and spreading it out to people, so that way people from all across the world can listen, whether they're on vacation, they're at a job site, they're getting married, it doesn't matter. Zach is one of those people that takes time, just like each and every one of us, to find his little niche in pro wrestling and excel at it. And he has excelled at it, and that's why we're recognizing him tonight. Because he might not think, hey, I'm just Zach Takis. I'm a guy who loves professional wrestling, and I interview people because I know that they love it too. But the moment that we're cultivating here tonight for him is something that it's a first for me, and it's a first for him. And that's why it's so incredibly special, because when I leave here today, when he leaves here today, we get to share that moment and talk about it for the rest of our lives. So, with the importance of this moment and what Zach has done for all of us in Shotgun Wrestling Radio, and just talking and helping and making sure that professional wrestling breathes every single day and gets out to the people. So that way when we're at work and we're bored and we want to put that AirPod in and we want to listen to some podcasts, you save our lives, Zach. You save our lives from the monotonous everyday life. So please stand up and help me recognize and thank Zach Takers, the theater, the CPW, all the way.
Normally I'm the one introducing people, so that was kind of weird for me. But that was, this award for me means a lot. I got to, first of all, dedicate it to one person. In 2005, I moved to Marshalltown, Iowa to go to college, and I met a guy. I was in broadcasting because I thought, radio, TV, that'd be kind of cool. And every day I'd see this guy in my broadcasting class wearing a different wrestling shirt. You know how we wrestling fans are. Hey! So I go up to him like, hey, you're a wrestling fan? He's like, yeah. We start talking just mutually, and then he's like, hey, do you want to come to a show with us in Des Moines this coming weekend or whatever? I'm like, what do you mean there's a show? Because at this time I had no idea about this wonderful thing we know as independent wrestling. And he took me to that show, and it was just like a whole new world lit up. And from that moment, I would not be here without Zach Grigg. And that's why I'm dedicating this award to tonight, because he introduced me to this awesome thing that we know as independent wrestling. And then somewhere down the line, we decided to start our own radio show and talk about wrestling. And it's funny to me to see how far radio and podcasting have come. I mean, you can make a podcast just on your phone now. Before, you basically had to have so many different things. You had to have computers, you had to have everything. And just to watch it evolve is the coolest thing. And for us, what started out as just two guys who love professional wrestling. We're going to talk about, WWE, Impact Wrestling, whatever it is. And slowly but surely, Iowa started getting more of these promotions. And we kind of really picked up on that. And slowly but surely started reaching out to guys like Storm, started reaching out to guys like Bayless, started reaching out to guys like Sean. And that's where we kind of found our niche. Like, hey, there's a real area for this where we can help promote guys like Austin and guys like Troy Peterson with Impact Pro Wrestling and many, many others, that eventually we were able to just go completely away from talking about the national wrestling scene and just had an Iowa wrestling-based podcast. So for that, I thank guys like Austin, because without that, we'd just be another fish in the pond of a million wrestling podcasts. So for us to be able to give something back that we love was really cool. And unfortunately, Zach passed away in 2020 right before COVID hit, and he wasn't able to see a lot of the behind the scenes things like commentary that we've been doing and just other things. And that's another thing I thank Austin for. That's something I've always wanted to try. And I asked Austin one day, I'm like, hey, can I come and do commentary for one of your shows? And he said, yeah. And he gave me the best advice. I was nervous wreck to trying to do it because I've never done it before, no experience with it whatsoever. And he was just like, just call what you see. And from that moment on, it just spiraled. And I remember the first Bridge City Slam that we did, you didn't even have the whole room open, did you? No, yeah. So now to see that we get the whole building open, it's pretty damn cool, man. Like it's a lot of fun. We're sitting in the room with one of the greatest referees of all time. And I think, Jeff, you brought up a really good point too about we're family. And I always say that whenever I go to something like this, I get to see my wrestling family. I know I get to see you. I know I get to see Clint, who's back there. I know I get to see Kelsey. I know I get to see Brad. I know I get to see everybody. And it's so much joy to me. And again, I want to thank every wrestler that's taken the time out of their day and away from their families, especially, again, guys like Storm, who I just interviewed a few weeks ago. Sean, I know we've had on the show before too. And again, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to, let me tell your story and let you get your word out there, because Storm, you and I have had some really fun interviews together, man. I mean, remember the whole Roy Fox stuff? That was some of my favorite stuff we've ever done with Central Empire. That was an absolute blast. But yeah, I can't thank Austin enough. And when COVID hit and everything got shut down, Austin was probably one of the few people outside of family and a few immediate friends that I would check in with almost every other week just to see how he was doing and just to give me somebody else to chit chat with, because we were all stuck at home. And I mean, I know, Austin, you've told this story 100 times. We just kept in touch, and yeah, we developed a really great friendship over the years, and I'm really grateful for that. Again, thank you to my brother DJ, who's here as well, my mom and dad. Dad especially has been really cool with my wrestling obsession over the years. I think at one point, we were telling Austin the story, he built me a play set wrestling ring, because my dad was a carpenter, so he could build anything. So for whatever reason, I broke my ring because I was angry at something, and my dad ended up making me a wooden ring, and it was the coolest thing. I'm also going to, and Mom too, Mom for taking me to wrestling when I know she doesn't want to, so I appreciate that, Mom. I'm going to thank my wife too. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but for her being able to let me go away on the weekend, I know our son's a handful, but so yeah, I really got to give her a lot of credit too. And yeah, I'm grateful to be here tonight. Grateful to be with all of you, because we are one big happy family. And I love coming to all our shows, whether it's here or Oskaloosa. You always see the same faces, and it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really grateful is the right word for it. So again, thank you, Austin, very much.